The National Transportation Safety Board kicked off an investigative hearing Tuesday morning about the East Palestine train derailment. When an initial report from the NTSB was released after the February derailment, these hearings are to better determine what went wrong and what changes need to be made. As these hearings were happening, we spoke with the Department of Transportation Secretary, Pete Buttigieg, on rail safety. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp shares this report that you only see here.
As the National Transportation Safety Board kicked off a two-day investigative hearing, we spoke exclusively with the Department of Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
Well, these hearings are very important. They can get technical, but they are a key part of how NTSB gathers the information that will allow for recommendations that could shape and change policy.
Buttigieg says after the derailment, the DOT took a number of steps to improve rail safety, like executing nearly 4,000 rail inspections across the country and investing more than $500 million from the bipartisan infrastructure law to improve hundreds of at-grade crossings. But that's not all they're doing.
The latest news that we're making this week is a proposed rule that would create new requirements for getting first responders information proactively when a railroad is moving hazardous material and there's an incident. The basic idea here is that it can take time in those emergency response contexts where every minute matters. It can take time to track down the personnel on the train to figure out what was where, what was in what tank car. We want to make sure that the railroads understand a requirement to push that information proactively to the first responders, firefighters, others who are going to be involved in the response, so that they know immediately what it is they're dealing with.
Buttigieg says they are also looking to increase training for first responders, modernize rail systems, and hold rail companies accountable.
Frankly, you can't expect multi-billion-dollar corporations to do all of these things voluntarily. There have to be requirements, and those requirements have to be backed up with real enforceability.
In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp reporting.